One, thought and character. A man is literally what he thinks, his character being the complete sum of all his thoughts. As a plant springs from and cannot be without the seed, so every act of man springs from the hidden seeds of thought, and cannot have appeared without them. This applies equally to those acts called spontaneous and unpremeditated as to those which are deliberately executed. Godlike character is not a thing of favor or chance, but is the natural result of continued effort in right thinking, the effect of long cherished association with godlike thoughts. Man is made or unmade by himself. By the right choice and true application of thought, man ascends to divine perfection. Between these two extremes are all the grades of character, and the man is their maker and master. The man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and the maker of shaper of condition, environment, and destiny. As a being of a power, intelligence, and love, and the lord of his own thoughts, man holds the key to every situation, and contains within himself the transforming and regenerative agency by which he may make himself what he wills. He then becomes the wise master, directing his energies with intelligence, and fashioning his thoughts to fruitful issues. Such is the conscious master. The man can only thus become by discovering within himself the laws of thought, which discovery is totally a matter of application, self-analysis, and experience. If he would dig deep into the mind of his soul, and that he is the maker of his character, the molder of his life, and the builder of his destiny. If he will watch, control, and alter his thoughts, tracing their effects upon himself, upon others, and upon his life and circumstances, linking cause and effect by patient practice and investigation, and utilizing his every experience, even to the most trivial everyday occurrence, as a means of obtaining that knowledge of himself which is understanding, wisdom, power. Man's mind may be likened to a garden, which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. By pursuing his process, a man sooner or later discovers that he is the master gardener of his soul, the director of his life. How he the forces and the mind elements operate in the shaping of his character, circumstances, and destiny. Thought and character of one and its character can only manifest and discover itself through environment and circumstance. The outer conditions of the person's life will always be found to be harmoniously related to his inner state. Every man is where he is by the law of his being. This is just as true of those who feel out of harmony with their surroundings as of those who are contented with them. As a progressive and evolving being, man is where he is that he may learn, that he may grow, and as he learns the spiritual lesson which any circumstance contains for him, it passes away and gives place to other circumstances. Men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. Good thoughts and actions can never produce bad results. Thoughts and actions can never produce good results. Suffering is always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. It is an indication that he, the individual, is out of harmony with himself, with the law of his being. The proof of this truth is in every person, and therefore admits of easy investigation by systemic introspection and self-analysis. Beautiful thoughts of all kinds crystallize into habits of grace and kindness, which solidify into general and sunny circumstances. Pure thoughts crystallize into habits of temperance and self-control, which solidify into circumstances of repose and peace. Thoughts of courage, self-reliance, and decision crystallize into many habits, which solidify into circumstances of success, plenty, and freedom. Energetic thoughts crystallize into habits of cleanness and industry, which solidify into circumstances of pleasantness, gentle and forgiving. Thoughts are crystallized into habits of gentleness, which solidify into protective and preservative circumstances. Loving and unselfish thoughts are crystallized into habits of self-forgiveness for others, which solidify into circumstances of sure and abiding prosperity and true riches. A particular train of thought persistent in, be it good or bad, cannot fail to produce its results on the character and the circumstances. A man cannot directly choose his circumstances, but he can choose his thoughts, and so directly yet surely shape his circumstances. As a physically weak man can make himself strong by careful and patient training, so the man of weak thoughts can make them strong by exercising himself in right thinking. His condition is also his own and not another man's. His suffering and his happiness are evolved from within. As he thinks, so he is. As he continues to think, so he remains. Serenity, a life that dwells in an ocean of truth, beneath the waves, beyond the reach of a tempest, and the eternal calm. Self-control is strength, right thought is mastery, calmness is power. Say unto your heart, peace be still. Okay, try to read the Korean version of this book. I tried it. This is very short, but then it is one of my favorite books, so try to read this one. And as a man thinking, oh, really? How come? Okay, sorry about that. Oh, I don't understand. It is really like, oh, okay. 생각과 성품, 사람이 마음속으로 생각하는 것 자체가 바로 그 사람입니다. 라는 그 경언은 사람의 존재 전체를 포용할 뿐만 아니라 그의 삶의 모든 조건과 환경에 손을 뻗을 정도로 포괄적입니다. 사람은 말 그대로 그가 생각하는 것이고 그의 성격은 그가 생각하는 모든 것의 완전한 합입니다. 사람이 하는 모든 행위는 생각에 숨겨진 씨앗에서 싹이 나므로 이걸 읽는 것보다는 잉글리시 버전을 읽는 게 나을 것 같아요. 네, 그래서 from passion passion to peace. Yeah. Peace. Where passion is, peace is not. Where peace is, passion is not. To know this is Matt's the first letter in the divine language of perfect deeds. To know that passion and peace cannot dwell together is to be well prepared to renounce the lesser and embrace the greater. Men pray for peace, yet cling to passion. Oh, men pray for peace, yet cling to passion. They foster strife, yet pray for heavenly rest. This is ignorance, profound spiritual ignorance. It is not to know the first letter in the alphabet of things divine. Hatred and love, strife and peace cannot dwell together in the same heart. Where one is admitted to welcome guest, the other will be turned away as an unwelcome stranger. He who despises another will be despised by others. He who opposes his fellow man will himself be resisted. He should not be surprised, and the more that men are divided, he should know that he is propagating strife. He should understand his lack of peace. He is brave who conquers another, but he who conquers himself is supremely noble. He who is victorious over another may, in turn, be defeated, but he who overcomes himself will never be subdued. By the way of self-conquest is perfect peace achieved. Man cannot understand it, cannot approach it, until he sees the supreme necessity of turning away from fierce fighting of things without and entering the noble warfare against the evils within. He who has realized that enemy of world is within and not without, that his own ungoverned thoughts and are the source of confusion and strife, that his own unchastened desires are the violators of his peace, and of the peace of world, such a man is already on the saintly way. If a man has conquered lust and anger, hatred and pride, selfishness and greed, he has conquered the world. He has slain the enemies of peace, and the peace remains within him. Peace does not fight, is not a partisan, has no blatant voice. The triumph of peace is an unacceptable silence. He who is overcome by the force is not thereby overcome in his heart. He may be a greater enemy than before, but he who is overcome by the spirit of peace is need thereby changed at heart. He that was an enemy has become a friend. Force and strife and work upon it the passions and the fears, but love and the peace reach and reform the heart. The pure-hearted and wise have peace in their hearts. It enters into their actions, they apply it in their lives. It is more powerful than strife. It conquers where force would fail, as wings and shield and rightness. Under its protection, the harmless is not harmed. It affords and secure shelter from the heat of selfish struggle. It is not a refuge for the defeated, a tenant for the lost, and a temple for the pure. Where peace is practiced and possessed and known, then sin and remorse, grasping in a disappointment, craving and temptation, desiring and craving, all in a turbulence and the torment of the mind, are left behind the dark sphere of the self to which they belong, and beyond which they cannot go. Beyond where these dark shadows move, the radiant plains of inner divine beauty to the bask in eternal light, and to these the traveler on a high and holy way and comes in due time, humble and lowly, yet the strong, radiant conqueror, to the beautiful city of mine, of peace. To the beautiful city of peace. Okay,